Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a live one. So my good friend Josh, I've known him for years. We've worked together over on the 143 side. And he's got a really cute image here. And we're going to look for the image. We're not sure if this is something that's out there. So let's start out by doing that. Let's just start out by seeing if we can find this image somewhere. And if we can't, we're going to make it. So we're just going to do Google image search. And we're just going to see what comes up. Okay, so it's a real common concept. I'm already good. I don't think we really need to worry anymore. We've seen the Mathemachicken is a very common concept. So we literally can just rock and roll. But I've done some due diligence here. Let's try, find digital download. So we're seeing some things, but we're not seeing that file. So let's just rock and roll. So like I always tell you guys, but I love to demonstrate it, I'm just going to delete everything in my downloads folder. As you can see, it's gotten out of hand just since yesterday. And I'm just going to start out with this. I'm going to open this up with Adobe Photoshop. I'm going to grab this crop tool and pull it in. Because I definitely don't need much more than just this. I'm going to grab just this part and do Control C. So one thing I've been having a little problem with today, I'm just saying this for everybody, I was having problems rendering things on 5.5 Pro. So I've just gone to 5.4. Not real sure exactly what that means. I assume it's just using an older model. And I love the new image model, but I was just having problems, so I decided I'd try that, and it does look like it's actually generating it. So here's what we got. Recreate and redraw this design. The chicken and his props isolated on their own layer against white. Improve the appeal and quality of this concept art. Give me a print-ready production file. So here we go. We'll just see how she does it. First impressions is it's good. I'm just going to go ahead and save it. It's done its little preview, so it's done its first generation. And giving me more crisp edges is what it says. I really wish it hadn't even given me these shadows and things, but we'll just power past those. But everything looks great, so, I wanted to snag it mid-generation, so I'm just going to save it, just in case, it comes back and it just really does something stupid, which happens quite a lot. But what it's doing now is it's refining the design. So here's a second variation, see? And it's going to decide what's the best one and then give us a final. And I don't see any problems in the final, but I'm just playing it safe. All right, so let's go ahead and download that guy and let's fix him up. So we'll take this original and we'll just go ahead and blow it up. So we're just going to blow it up. We're going to do image size. We want to set it to 300. We'll turn off resample, set it to 300. So it's 2.7 by 3.57 right now. We're going to go ahead and make it 20 wide. And of course, that's going to absolutely destroy the quality, but we're remaking all the pieces. So we'll just go ahead and zoom that out. Control 1 zooms all the way in. Control 0 zooms out. And, I think this will show you real quick why I had to do that. I can't just use this image because, gosh, it's just embedded in those fibers. It looks terrible. It's not going to work. We've got these big squares of just nonsense. So we had to do something to recreate the asset, and thankfully AI was there for that. All right, so now let's take this. I'm going to rename this. I'm going to call this Mathemachicken. I'm having trouble spelling it because I don't know how to spell Mathemachicken. I'll just put design. All right. And then I'm going to grab this with upscale. So we're going to go to upscale. We're going to select that Mathemachicken, hit open. And yeah, 5x is pretty good. We'll just go out 5x, a lot bigger than we need. but it just makes it easier to take the background off the more pixels you've got. And this is far different than just like, taking it into Photoshop and just changing the size. Oh, look, she knocked the shadows out for me. Thank you. Awesome. And I'm just going to drag that in. So here comes our dragged in image. We're going to hit enter. Now I'm going to double click. And I'm going to grab my magic wand. I'm going to turn my tolerance way up, like 100. And I think I've got a black edge against everything. So I'm just going to start nailing the areas that are the most difficult. I'm going to come right in here and just hit it right there. And that just zoomed around and got pretty much everything. I'm going to look. I call this checking your corners. And I'll show you exactly what I mean. Look, check your corners. There's a corner problem right there. I'm going to change that by just doing shift and just drawing this in. And you could spend the rest of your life improving this selection and trying to get every single little spot. But at some point, you just have to decide that's enough. I'm going to get these little inside of these rings. I'm not going to get all of them, just the bigger ones that are more glaring. Definitely want to get this one out here in front. Somebody might spot that. I'll get some of these guys. And we're just going to kind of check the corners. Those look fine. Looks fine. No problems. Looks great. I'm holding the space bar down and clicking and dragging because the space bar switches you to your hand tool just temporarily. See, if I let it go, I go back to my magic wand. Okay, this looks great. I'm going to unlock it. I think I'm going to cut. Oh, look at that mess. All right. That is why we do what we do the way we do it. So we're just going to make a decision right here. We're going to come right along that edge right there. Boom. Oh, let's check that little crevice right here. All right, that's fine. Sharp edges make art look polished. Sometimes you want, faded edges or edges that go into nothing, but for the most part, sharp edges make things look polished. All right, so let's move in a little bit. Let's go select, modify, and we're just going to expand 1 pixel because we've got a really thick outer border and we can certainly afford to lose some of it. So let's hit delete on this. Yep. Now, Control D to deselect. Solid color, pure black. Drop it behind. And I've still got some edginess. That's what I call this. That's a little edginess right here. All right, so now we're just going to right click on this, blending options. We're going to do a stroke around the inside, pure black. And we're going to bring it in until we see our edginess kind of go away. And we have to be cognizant of the fact that it's done that everywhere. And we want to be able to turn it off and on and see it's coming in too much right there. So we'll back it off. Let's do 3 pixels. So we're not getting quite the benefit we were getting over here, but it's fixing it everywhere else. And we just want to turn it off and on. If we see things change, then that's not good. And then we'll just turn this off. All right, I'm going to rasterize that style. I'm going to do image trim, transparent pixels. And then you can, need to delete this fill layer. And then Control S, and that's going to go back on this main document and update that layer. So now it's time to save it. We're going to save as a PSD. I'm actually going to just copy that name we made earlier. Mathemachicken. I'm over here. I'm just doing rename. I'm just being lazy. I don't want to retype it. And I'm saving time. And I'm improving accuracy. Boom. I'm going to call this Mathemachicken. I think that's what I'm calling it. Mathemachicken. I think that's the way we're saying it. All right. Okay. Mathemachicken. All right. Now this font just looks like extremely basic. I think it's like Bookman Old Style or something like that. Maybe like a Georgia. I'm going to look for the font real quick. I won't waste your time doing that. I'm just going to find the font if I can. Yeah, I think it's Bookman Old Style. All right, so I'm going to take that font. I'm just going to grab my text tool. Centered. That's fine. Actually, let's turn this off. And let's find the center of this drawing. So here's the center, right? I'm just grabbing my ruler. Yep. And then let's turn this all back on, turn that off. All right. And then we'll grab our font and we'll just place it. And hopefully it'll, at least we're using the guide to place it. And we'll click it right there. And we're going to say, I had a pen. Ooh. All right, let's grab that. And I'm just thinking out loud here. Obviously, I need to increase the size. So we're going to go larger. No, we don't need to do that. Hang on. Let's change our image size real quick. So we're just going to turn off resample. Oh, it is set to 300. Okay, it's just a really big image. All right, let's try 125. It's more than that. That's about the right spacing. Now it's just a little tall. Let's do 130. And then let's just make it taller. Let's go 150. Too much. Let's go 120. All right, good enough, close enough. As far as color, let's pull it off our chicken. So let's just grab it from right here and use that color right there. All right. And I don't know if I love that color. Let's look at this one. Okay. Let's look at this one over here. Let's just pull it from our image. Okay. All right, I'm going to type this out. And I'm literally just going to, get my spacing right. I guess I'll show you me doing the second line. I had a hen who could count her own eggs. Sounds like a story. Who could count her. Okay, yeah, we're on the right. I was going to show you that we can adjust the spacing, but this literally looks just standard. I'm going to type it out. And I wasn't recording. I just realized I turned the recording off, but I just kind of like tightened this up so that we'd have like a little better aspect ratio on the image and it wasn't quite so tall. Okay, so now we got this ready. So I'm going to save this as Mathemachicken. I'm actually going to make a folder for it this time. And we're going to right click this, rename it, Control C, rename it, Control V. I need some help on this. I'm really struggling with what to call this thing. So I'm going to go ahead and save over that. I'm going to get Gemini to help me think. I don't know what I would do with it these days. And we're just going to say, I've got this design. Let's go ahead and export it. And I'm going to do this. We'll just export it right here and ask it for some help and guidance on what it would call it. All right. So it came up with some great names and the calculating clucker. I said, let's use Mathemachicken, but also incorporate something else that describes the design. We may have many Mathemachicken designs as it's a popular client. I mean, we saw loads of different Mathemachickens out there in the world, and there's no reason why we can't have more. Actually, can think of some really cool ones right here. I'd love to have some actual like math on a chalkboard or something. And so let's just see, Mathemachicken counting her own eggs. All right, that sounds good. Now that's a name that's going to actually, better define this design. So let's do Mathemachicken, and we're going to do counting her own eggs. So I'm going to put underscores because that's what we do. And I missed one right here. And I'm going to do rename, Control C, rename, Control V. And then I'm just going to save over that so that I'm writing the same document. So we're going to do save as Mathemachicken, boom, save. All right, let's prepare this for print. So let's turn this off. We're going to do image trim, transparent pixels. We are going to do image size, and we're going to do a width 15513. Okay, so we're going to try to change this to 19. So it's either 15 wide or 19 tall. We're going to hit OK. All right, and I am going to, I think I'm good saving this. I'm not going to lose any data. I'm going to do file save again. I said I wouldn't lose data because I've got a text object and I've got a smart object, so there's no problem there. And now we're going to export this. And I'm going to do quick export, and I'm going to call this Mathemachicken counting her own eggs. Oh, she's not 4,500 pixels. Let's go see what her size is. Image size. So she's 4127. So file, export, quick export is PNG. We're going to do 4127 PX Mike RTP. But this is the for darks, right? Okay. And now let's look at it on a light background. You know what? It really doesn't work that. It's kind of for everything, isn't it? It kind of works fine against the light. I mean, there's some colors that it's not going to work on. I want to give it a darks version. I want to give it a lights version. That's my one for darks. Let's give it a lights version. So let's just change the color of this to the color of the book. And let's change our stroke. I shouldn't just click that book again. I should actually get this color. Cancel. Click here. And then we'll paste it. Okay. Okay. Now, we're going to do file, export, quick export as PNG. The only thing I'm not doing, and I just realized, is I'm not, I didn't do I didn't harden it. Let's do that. All right, so I'm going to hit Control E. I'm going to do layer mask from transparency, alt click the mask, image, adjustments, threshold. We used to have to do this every single time, and I'm kind of on the fence about whether we need to continue to do that. We just need to do some more tests. We've got much better printers than we had just even a few years ago now in the industry. So, and things are much more dialed in. All right, let's change that color back. Yeah, all right. And we'll turn this off. And we'll do that same thing. We'll merge her down. And then we'll do image. Well, we'll do layer mask from transparency. Alt select the mask. Image, adjustments, threshold. Okay. And then we'll export this as the one for lights. Save. All right, so all that's left to finish this listing would be to do all that's left to finish this listing is we need to do something about the description, we need to make the mock-ups, and then we need to upload it. But when I give this back to my friend, I need to make sure that I put it in the Google Drive, okay? And I'm going to show you that real quick. So I've just found this folder, and I'm going to take this, and I'm going to upload all three of those things to that folder. And I'm just making it easy for him to find that. And easy for myself in case I ever need to do it again. And then the one that I'm going to send him is the one for darks. There's the one for lights. Did I actually just screw up? I sure did. Yep, you all probably saw me do it. All right. Okay, I remade both versions because I was just scared. So I went ahead and made them both again. And we're going to replace those items. And that doesn't change the links. If you already sent this out to somebody, it literally just replaces the item. All right, so now I'm just going to give them back to him like this. So I'm just going to copy, go back to our conversation, and I'm going to link it. And I'm going to say, I'm just going to upload. And I'm going to say that this one, gosh, guys, I keep screwing up because I'm just tired. It's been a long week. I need to go back and I need to make sure I got the right link for him. So I'm just going to go back to the folder. I'm doing the darks one. I'm doing the darks one. All right. Boom. Attach a file. This is the one for darks. Open. And then I'm going to do the one for lights. And I'm going to attach the file. So I'm just hitting share, copy on that. And then one for lights and one for darks. Be sure to download from the Google Drive link. All right, be sure to download it from the Google Drive link. If you download it from the one here, that's going to be a JPEG again and have a background and everything. Be sure to download from the Google Drive link. And the other thing that's important here is that he can resize it. He can resize these down in the gang sheet builder. With no issues. All right. That's what we got. And he says, wish I had the talent to do ones like that. That's why I make these videos, is for guys like you. Because one day, I think you're not going to have a problem. Look how easy it is for me. All right. Everybody take care. And thanks for watching my videos. And have fun making some perfect DTF shirts. Thanks.